Here I am again. Welcome to my show. My name is Ed. If you guys are joining me for the first time, hopefully you'll bear with me. I tend to go off the track quite a bit, but we are here to sell you guys coffee. So I'm coming at you live from the farm here. My name is Ed. I'm Rooster Farms is the name of our farm. You can Google us. We've been in business for 51 years, and I've been running this farm for 14 years. Small 6-acre farm. We grow coffee, turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, and hoping mostly coffee. So I'm hoping you guys will try out some of our coffee. Hey, lunchbox, and and this is some good coffee here. If you've never tried Hawaiian coffee before, it's definitely worth trying. It's very different, and I know you're thinking how different. The turmeric's doing good. That's awesome. Yeah, you'll have a nice harvest at the end of the year too. Turmeric grows really well. Where are you coming from, Ashley War? And so we're coming at you live from Hawaii. Grows well down there, definitely. Coming you live from Hawaii, where we have an active volcano, and this volcano is constantly replenishing the soil with micronutrients. So the beans here will grow larger than beans from anywhere else in the world. And I hope you guys will, um, you know, try these beans for yourself. I can sit here and talk about them all day, but there's nothing like actually trying the beans. And you're probably, like I said, probably wondering how different can coffee be. Well, it can be very different. The coffee you guys are buying, it's imported coffee. It's coffee that's been shelled before, you know, before getting shipped all over the world. It's probably been sitting in a port for months before it even gets to the US. It has to go through customs. It might be irradiated. It's sprayed with chemicals. Whereas our coffee is pure. It's grown in the US. It's grown organically on the Big Island where we have virgin soil. We have an active volcano here. That volcano is constantly replenishing the soil with micronutrients, and that makes the beans here grow larger than beans from anywhere else in the world. But it's not necessarily the size of the beans that make the coffee better, although a larger bean will be smoother. The real difference in our coffee is how we pick it. So most of the world's coffee is picked with a machine, and when you pick coffee with the machine, something like 20% of the beans are going to be unripe, and unripe coffee tastes like any other unripe fruit. You got sourness and bitterness in there, you got acidity, all the tannins, all the bitter aftertaste, all of that comes from the fact that your coffee was picked unripe. Whereas our coffee was is never picked with a machine. By law, we have to pick our coffee by hand. We have that active volcano that's always replenished the soil, but it's the picking, right? We pick the coffee by hand, and not only that, we're only picking the coffee overripe. So we're waiting 4 to 6 weeks longer for the coffee to ripen on our trees versus even other hand-picked regions. And so, whereas other hand-picked regions, you don't quite have, the same level of bitterness. Usually, the coffee is somewhat smooth. It still tends to be very, very sour. If you go on YouTube and you look at how people pick their coffee, and this is where I first learned to pick my coffee. That's what I'm telling you. Go on YouTube. You're gonna notice that coffee tends to be picked underripe. They tend to pick their coffee maybe like a red orange, whereas we don't pick our coffee until it's soft and ready to fall off the trees. So our coffee, because we're waiting so long for that coffee to ripen, because our coffee is so much fresher than coffee from other regions, we just have a far. Sorry, I got a lot of mosquitoes today. We just have a lot of just way more sugar in our coffee fruit. All the bitterness, all the sourness um, has been reacted um, into more flavor. Just like if you let a banana turn brown or an apple turn brown, you let a strawberry become overripe, the amount of sugars in there is exponentially greater. And as a result of that, the beans, when you drink them, just be completely different, next level coffee. And again, it's very hard for me to convey how good it is. You guys might be sitting there thinking, how good can coffee be? So try it for yourself. And the best one to start with is the dark roast. It is. It is all in the jungle. But if you go look at how other countries pick their coffee, they're picking their coffee red orange, whereas we pick our coffee when it's purple. But There is other hand picked coffees, but I think 95% of the world's coffee is picked with a machine. About 5% is picked on those hillsides. It's shade grown, hand picked coffees. But even for hand picked coffees, we're paying our pickers 100 times more than they get paid in a place like Honduras, and that makes a huge difference. So most of the world's coffee, right, is so the coffee that gets picked by hand, people are um, getting paid $1 per 100 pounds of raw coffee, and it takes 10 pounds of raw coffee to make 1 pound of finished coffee. So if you're getting paid $1 per 100 pounds of coffee, that translates into $1 per 10,000 coffee fruits. Imagine if you were getting paid $1 per 10,000 coffee fruits. How would you pick your coffee? You'd pick your coffee. No, that's not true. Soft Connie. Um, you'd pick your coffee, but if you have a citation, I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong, and I'm open to new information. But I'm pretty sure 90%, 95% of the world's coffee is picked with a machine. Even most of the coffee grown in Hawaii is picked with a machine. So your specialty coffees, single origin coffees, those are picked by hand. So if you see single origin, hand picked, has to say hand picked, shade grown, those tend to be picked by hand. But we're paying our pickers 100 times more than they get paid in other countries. Here, I will. I will. I could be wrong. I really don't believe that. But what percentage? Because I've chat GPT'd it before. I could be wrong though. But even if it's picked by hand, they're getting paid 100 times less than we get paid. Globally, less than 10% of coffee is harvested with a machine. Okay, then I'm wrong. You're right. Man, all right, you're right. I'm wrong. You got it. So you're right, Soft Connie. I'm wrong. But like I was saying, even the hand picked coffee, people are getting paid $1 per 100 pounds of coffee. And when you get paid $1 per 100 pounds of coffee, you're getting paid $1 per 10,000 coffee fruits. Yeah, that's very true. So I was wrong about that statistic. I don't know where I got that from. So I will update my database of information. But I did talk to a Honduran bean picker, and he was telling me they get paid $1 per 100 pounds. And so if you go on YouTube and you look at that coffee, it's usually picked red orange, whereas we're waiting for our coffee to come deep red, purple, or brown. We only pick the coffee that's soft and ready to fall off the trees, and because of that, our coffee is just way sweeter. Updated. My database has been updated. I appreciate that, soft Connie. You were right. I was wrong. So when you harvest your coffee overripe, all of that bitterness gets converted into more sugar, and that sugar is exponentially gets rid of all the enzymes, gets rid of all of the the tannins in the beans, the the sourness and the bitterness, and so that's another reason why our coffee is so much riper. When I first got here, I was picking the coffee red orange. I was going out every day and picking the coffee, and my neighbors would actually yell at me, and they tell me a lot of people like yelling at me, but I'm coachable, so a lot of times I do things wrong. And then if you yell at me, some people, if you yell at them, they get mad at you. But if you yell at me, because I'm used to getting yelled at, I'll fix it. So our coffee is just going to be much sweeter and smoother than coffee from other regions of the world. And when you try this coffee, you're going to notice it's not going to give you acid reflux. It's not going to give you any indigestion. And that's because we're only picking the overripe beans. So the amount of sugar that gets concentrated in our beans is way higher. And you just have to try the coffee for yourself. It's a lot of people drink coffee and they start to think I should, maybe give this coffee up. They start to think coffee is a vice, but coffee is actually really healthy for you. When you drink coffee, you're getting all sorts of micronutrients. You're getting You're getting polyphenols, and you're getting something called trigonylene, which is another alkaloid in coffee. I think I might have put that on this video. And trigonylene is, so alkaloids are things like caffeine, nicotine, opiates are alkaloids. No problem, Bob. Yeah, I did get a bunch of bookmarks off of that, so thanks you guys. And so if you guys are trying this coffee first time, these are 2-ounce samples. I'm running them for a little bit cheap in the beginning of the show, so you can get some deals. They come in these bags here, and you can throw these into your freezer. You're gonna make 4 8-ounce cups of coffee at least. Usually there's more than 2 ounces in our samplers, but you guys can grab these samplers so you can try this coffee out. I can talk all day about how good the coffee is, but until you try it, you're not gonna believe me, or you're not gonna, you can't fathom how good this coffee is. It's tastes like a the dark roast tastes like a, we do bundle ship, so if you, the first items, I think shipping's like $6, which sucks. After that, I think the second item's $2. Exit, you won one. Congratulations. And the third one will be, I think, $1, and after that's free. So yeah. So you can bundle your shipping. V Heart, haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully the coffee was good. And yeah, so the dark roast tastes like a dark chocolate caramel. No one's ever complained about our dark roast. People have gotten the light roast who didn't, haven't really tried specialty coffees before. Usually they will, or very often they will think that the coffee's too mild. Some people even think the coffee's old, but it's actually just roasted really light. So you should start with the dark roast. The dark roast is a little bit lighter than your typical dark roast. It's more like a medium dark. I did see that Anzu Wolves will um yeah, let's we'll chat about that a little bit more. And so this dark roast is rich, almost like a toasted caramel. It's very, very sweet. And you're going to notice when you drink this coffee, it won't hurt your stomach. It's not going to give you acid reflux. It's not going to taste bitter or sour. The sourness in coffee comes from the unripe fruits that get picked. The bitterness in coffee comes also from the tannins and also from the acid. When you roast an acidic coffee dark, the acidity actually becomes bitterness. And that's why we have this conception that dark coffee is supposed to be bitter, light coffee is supposed to be sour. But actually, a lot of people who only like light coffees, when they drink our dark coffee, like, oh, this is really good because it's not bitter. And a lot of people who like dark coffees, when they drink our light coffees, are like, wow, this is really good because it's not sour. So it is surprising for some people how this coffee tastes, because you don't get that typical sourness. There is a touch of acidity in the lighter roast, but it's not like a lemon juice. A lot of light roasts are like a lemon juice, and the dark roast is just this very sweet, kind of toasted caramel flavor with some dark chocolate notes in there. Very, very rich, full-bodied coffee. So try this coffee. Kona coffee, people say, someone looked it up. They said it was the fourth best coffee. I don't know, but it is the most expensive coffee in the world. And Miss List, thanks. I appreciate that. And so you guys gotta try the coffee for yourself, so you know what what the buzz is about. Ugh, my wife. My wife just texted me, completely threw me off again. But it's a good thing. Hey, that stores. But good thing. Anyway, we're gonna try to stay focused today. I do not have any medium Hawaiian. The only medium I have today is a pea berry. So we'll do a little bit of medium pea berry. But I only have, the pea berries are expensive, so let's see if I got this pea berry here. Oh, I also have a medium extra fancy. So I have the highest grade of our coffee in the medium roast. So if you guys want, I only have a pea berry and an extra fancy. This one's our extra fancy here. And so the medium roast is going to be like a chocolate covered raisinette with a little bit of Nutella. It's a little bit nutty. It's a little bit fruity as in raisiny, extra dark. I have that extra dark OG, which is at the request of Sandon. It's um I should grab it so I can show you the extra dark OG. OG is a grade below Hawaiian, so I can run that for really cheap. Almost as cheap as your regular coffees. Let me just finish this extra fancy medium. So the extra fancy beans are the biggest beans in the world, and I could show you some of these beans here. They're so big that they make other coffees laughable in a way. So you know, here's some examples of our extra fancy beans. This is one is a dark, one is a medium. That one just cracked. So here's an extra fancy bean here. It's hard to tell the scale until I put it next to another bean. Uh, but here's another extra fancy bean here. Then we have your regular beans that you might buy from the store, and even or these are Hawaiian beans. And then if you buy like coffee from other regions, even Maui, sometimes they're even smaller than this. So this is like a regular size bean. This is even a nice bean. Whereas you can see our extra fancy beans are just so much bigger. Yeah, it makes the regular beans look really small. And the extra fancy beans are the top 5% of our coffee beans in size. They're 19/64ths of an inch or above, so they're 19 screen coffee or above. And that coffee is going to be just richer and sweeter, more oils in the beans. So that's our 2 ounce extra fancy. Doesn't look like there are any takers on that. Let me go to the extra dark OG. So the OG coffee, very variable in quality. So when it says OG, there's gonna be a high variability in coffee, a little bit less consistent in grading. This batch of OG was extremely big, so really good coffee. So awesome deal. So definitely worth stocking up on this one. But OG coffee from batch to batch, there's a lot of variability. Let me go grab some now. Give me one sec, guys. All right, we'll do a live brewing of our OG coffee. So if this OG is good, it's really the coffee you guys should just be buying up because it's so cheap. 19 bucks a pound. You probably get it for even less. Let me try it right now, guys. Today's call it out day. So only 10% of the world's coffee is picked machine. I thought it was 90%, but I was wrong. But still, that doesn't explain why coffee is so sour and bitter. So I guess actually, in most of the world, people are getting paid slave labor rate wages to pick the coffee. And that's actually why your coffee is so sour bitter. It's because you're drinking bad karma. You're drinking the sourness and the bitterness of the pickers. When you drink that coffee, you're drinking their hate. And that's why your coffee's so sour and bitter. You're drinking the bitterness of the pickers and the sourness. All right, guys. Damn, these are so nice. I don't understand why these are not. All right, guys, let me show you some of these beans. This is my off grade, 1 pound. Called off. These are freaking nicer beans than than the Hawaiian beans. I don't understand this, but here you go. Here's your off grade coffee. This is the $19 a pound here. There's like no defect. So the reason, so this is clearly an off. This is an off-grade bean. You see that? How ugly that thing is? That's why. But I mean, these are nice beans. I don't understand why this is the off-grade. So this is the off-grade. I'm gonna try it, but this is the OG. These beans are nicer than a lot of the beans you're getting in the store. But for us, they're not good enough. The Sandin OG. So these beans are not good enough to be called Kona coffee. And that's why it's the OG. This is grown in Kona. This is what's pinned here. So this is the lowest grade of coffee that we have. I usually just don't even sell this. It smells fine. So this is the value coffee. I don't know why it's so cheap, but I don't ask questions. If you love smelling coffee, try grinding it more coarse, and then it'll come out the way it'll actually taste the way it smells. Biggest complaint I always hear people, and here's the coarseness that I like to grind my coffee when I do pour overs. You see how coarse that is? Really coarse. I like to make it chunky. All right, the real test is, does it hurt my stomach? All right. All of our other coffees are guaranteed not to hurt your stomach. We'll see how this one does. So, and I use it too much grounds. So I use this much grounds for a cup of coffee, way too much. This is like a pot of coffee worth, but I'm going to use this much because that's just the way I roll. And so, yeah, I use way too much coffee. This is probably 4 times. You did, Sandon. Let me show. So I'm making it right now. But Sandon, these beans are amazing. These are like nicer than our Hawaiian beans. You did. Nice, Sandon. I'll show them to you again. Here's the extra dark. This is the OG coffee you guys are getting here. Pound for $19. I'm not gonna do it for $16, guys. I gotta make a little bit of money. But this is the OG, the Sandon, courtesy of Sandon. They're nice. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's beans like this though. Here, take a look. This is big head. I did see that. Yep, you're missing one item. I'll make sure. If you send me another message with your email address and your mailing address, I'll get that out to you ASAP. Um, I don't know. My packers sometimes, if they're missing something, they'll just send all of it, and then I got to make up for it. So I apologize. So make sure you look at your packing slip and see if you have all the items. So this is the extra fancy bean that the OG bean that we're doing right now. And the real test is, does it hurt my stomach? So why don't we see if it hurts my stomach? I use a lot for the pour over. I just grind as much coffee as there is, and then I grind it very coarse, and I pour it over like this. So you guys seeing this? You can see how fresh it is because it's just exploding. So we have, we get about 20-30% of our coffee comes off as what we call off grade. And usually those beans are less dense. They have a crack in all. These beans don't have that. So I just got to explain to you guys, our off grade coffee is not going to be this good every single time. I think sometimes what happens is the mill, no one buys their off grade, so they just take it off the top, and the top of your coffee is always going to be the best coffee. So I'll let you know what the batch looks like every time, but this batch is really nice. I guess I'm making a larger little bit there. And so this coffee, this is an extra dark. Gecko just pooped on me. Did you just see that? Freaking hate geckos. He just pooped on me. Gecko poop is disgusting. Just, you ever got pooped on by a bird? I spilled my coffee again. I spilled the beans. So this is a pound here. Pounds are big. So I'm going to. I'll just lick it clean. You don't think I just lick it clean? Let's take a vote. Should I just lick it clean? All right, guys. So these are 19 bucks. I can't do less than 19 bucks. So if you want, lick it. I am hungry. It was a good omen. I'm gonna go wash my hands. No one wants to OG. So this is the OG coffee I'm making right now in the extra dark. So if you love just a dark, yeah, you love that Starbucks dark. No way, I'm not gonna lick it. There's salmonella in there. All right, why don't we do that? Um, I love following directions. That's like my favorite thing. So when you tell me to do something, that's like, yeah, I'm just gonna do it that way. All right, I'll give you guys. I'll give it to you for 17 because that's the have to flash sale it for at least 10% off. So we'll do it on flash sale for 10 minutes, guys. This is my OG coffee here. 17 bucks a pound. That's cheaper than what you guys are paying for any coffee. And honestly, these beans are nicer than or as nice as the beans you guys are getting at Starbucks. There's no almost no chip beans in there. It's actually a really nice coffee. I don't quite understand it. So if you guys want the OG coffee, there it is. I'm gonna go wash my hands. Be right back. Yeah, my latest conflict today is this meth head. Oh, it didn't even run. That's why. Is this meth head keeps asking me for money. He who works for us. I'm like, I don't want you working for us anymore. And my wife's like, don't be a dick. I'm like, you pay him. I'm not paying him anymore. She doesn't even believe he's a meth head. She might. And then whenever he works for my wife is always telling him to quit drugs. And so he always quits working for my wife. Are we running now? All right. Here's our OG. 1 pound of the OG here. Extra dark. This is gonna taste like Kona coffee. Oh, we're gonna see if it hurts my stomach though. We'll see. But those are nice big beans. Some of these beans. So that's the thing about the off-grade coffee is some of these beans are as big as our extra fancy beans. Why? Why does that happen? I really don't understand it. Look, this is the off-grade, and then see now I'm just ruining my extra fancy. Look, this is my extra. This off-grade bean is bigger than the extra fancy bean. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this bean at all. Why is this even in the off-grade? I don't understand. So sometimes I don't understand. And so a lot of people who know about off-grid will just buy the off-grid. To being because something's going on. I'm so tired, guys. I don't think I could sell coffee today. I'm just tired. It's been a conspiracy. So anyway, this is our best deal here. This is the OG coffee. Definitely worth trying. Tastes like a toasted caramel. We're gonna see if it hurts my stomach. If it doesn't, then I don't know why you wouldn't even why you would buy the more expensive coffee if you're getting the biggest beans in the off grade. Here, this is I'll show you why. All right. This is an off grade bean here. You see how it's a shell? That sucks. I think the white coffee is starting to stop working, right? The white coffee doesn't work anymore. This is an off grade bean. Stopped working for me. It worked for like a good 3 months. Here's another off grade bean. These are the off grade beans. So when you go and mill coffee, you're basically it's an art, and you're kind of going through your beans and you're separating out the good ones from the bad ones. And a lot of times, a lot of good beans get into your off grade. So here's another defective bean in the off grade. So this is why it's off grade. You get a lot of these kind of weird. There's that little slice in there. I don't know what happened there. All right, here we go. I'm gonna drink the coffee. We'll let it cool. My wife got banned, also got blacklisted at the Outrigger yesterday. She's blacklisted from Kona Coast Resorts, which is a chain. She's blacklisted by a realtor. At least everyone else in the town is starting to know that I'm not the problem, because she's gotten blacklisted all over town. Uh, Nothing. They're just like she's messy and she has a dog that pisses everywhere, and she argues and she starts fights with people. So she's a firecracker. She is. If you, it's hard. I'm learning to handle it, but not everyone can. It's because everyone else is a dick. That's what she says. Because everyone else is a dick. Exactly. It's all your fault. It's all your guys' fault. It's all your fault. Everyone else is a dick. It's just true, right? You're a dick, Mac the Knife. Everyone else is a dick, which is true. But it's like then if you're a dick to her, she'll take it to whatever, as she won't back down. And it's uh it's tricky. All right. So our off grade coffee here. Are you guys waiting for me to drink it? Is that what's going on? It's still too hot. It smells good though. It smells like Kona coffee. It looks like Kona coffee. But we're not allowed to tell you it's from Kona. That's the other thing. You're not allowed to tell people the OG is from Kona. We're not allowed to even tell people it's from Hawaii, like on the label. Yep. And so it's the OG. So OG coffee here. Grab it. I'm gonna sip it soon. That's our extra dark. I got these 2-ounce dark samplers. If you guys want them, this is the Hawaiian dark sampler. 2 ounces will make you 4 8-ounce cups of coffee. So here's another one. The dark fancy is nice. Yeah, those are a higher grade of our beans. But I'm starting to get confused about the grading, because like I do think when you roast your coffee extra dark, it's hard to tell defects. But like this is a defect here. You see how the little tip of the bean is chipped. Um, This is a defect here. You see how the little. So it's actually just minor damage to the beans. Whereas a Hawaiian coffee, a little bit cleaner. We roasted a little bit lighter. So this is our Hawaiian coffee. On those 2 ounces, you're going to get 4 8-ounce cups. So 32 ounces of coffee. So this is our dark Hawaiian that you guys are bidding on here. This is a higher grade, cleaner bean, less than 30% defects. Has to be above 14/64 of an inch to be called dark Hawaiian. I can do that. Although we send that out to a third party to do that, so I'd have to go over there and take some videos. Great milling is actually a big operation in itself. So these are our dark beans here. The dark Hawaiian is what you guys are bidding on. The extra dark was our OG. Our off grade is OG stands for off grade, which kind of really off putting when you call it that. I should tell people to call it something else. And this one, you can get it for 17 bucks for a full pound. Still gonna have the. All right, here we go. Let's see if it hurts my stomach. Tastes like tastes like a pretzel. The extra dark roast tastes like a pretzel. I mean it's smooth and it's sweet and doesn't leave an aftertaste. Tastes like Kona coffee. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this batch of coffee. I don't know why it's called off grid. Maybe it's just the beans. You get beans like this. Whoops. Like, there's even a pea berry in here. Yeah, most farms just toss the off grid, or you sell it to people who do ground coffee. See, there's even a nice pea berry in there. So yeah, my a lot of times I think maybe the mill when they deal with me, they sometimes if I put in an order for off grid, they're just gonna give me they're just gonna take it off the top of there. They just don't even bother to mill the coffee, and then they just sell it to me like that. I have some videos of our roaster online. If you go to my YouTube, you can see that. So, all right. We got a little bit of our dark estate, which is the highest grade of our coffee. These are the densest beans. Has less than 1% defects. And this was $21. Usually this goes for $65 a pound. So this is an 8-ounce bag of the estate Kona for 21. I'm really tired, guys. I don't know. I know what's going on here. Let's do one of these 8 ounces on the auction. Let's see if you guys are awake. So this is our Kona Estate, which combines the top 4 grades of coffee. Usually goes for $65 a pound. You guys get whatever it goes for here. Hopefully not a dollar, but it is an 8-ounce bag, which is a half pound, 8-ounce bags. Roughly like this. This will make you 16 cups of coffee. And this retails for $65 for 16 ounces, so 35 for 8 ounces normal. No problem on the givey. Glad you're getting some coffee. And I'm out of the estate medium, so I only have this dark left. See, it's interesting. Most people on here want to buy the more expensive stuff. They don't want to buy the off grade. They don't want to. They're not here for a deal. They're here for high quality. If they wanted a deal, they'd go get that Starbucks coffee. But yeah, this soju's good. Not hurting my stomach. Not giving me bad breath. 3 dots on the right side. Yeah, and this coffee will not give you the jitters. It won't give you acid reflux. It won't give you any of those things because of what is Twitch? You guys all only want the fancy coffee. All right, so our OG means off grade. It means it's our lowest grade of coffee. It's the rejected coffee. It's the Kona rejects. And sometimes good coffee gets rejected. Sometimes, if a coffee just isn't conforming to everyone else, the coffee gets rejected even if it's a big solid bean. So so the off grade this time really good. But let's do one more of these 8-ounce Konas, and you guys got standards. Sometimes that off grade bean you get rejected 100 times. The head of the Chinese Communist Party, Xi Jinping, he was rejected. He was off grade. He was rejected from the Communist Party like 20 times. And look at him now. Now he's extra fancy. And so sometimes, sometimes you get the extra fancy beans in the off grade, right? I mean, you got some extra fancy beans in here. The off grade is a menagerie of coffee beans. These are just beans that didn't try enough times. All this, if this bean tried one more time, he might have become an extra fancy, but he turned out to be off grade. So you just keep on trying. It's true. It's true. If you're and look at this guy. This is a pea berry. And if the pea berry just tried one more time, just tried a little bit harder, he might have made it into the pea berry, but instead he got rejected. And sometimes, sometimes there's legitimately a bean that's off grade, right? This guy, no matter how hard he tried, how many times he applied for the Communist Party, he would have gotten rejected. Maybe you're an off grade bean. But other times, maybe you just got to try again. Maybe you're actually an extra fancy bean and you just didn't try enough times. And if you just tried one more time, like, look, this came out of the off grade. Here, let me find. And how are you going to know? You only live once, YOLO. So just keep on trying. If you end up in the off grade bin, try one more time. You might end up. Sometimes, it's just a matter of there was too much coffee on the conveyor belt, and the top layer of coffee that just couldn't push its way through to the bottom got rejected. Because it's like basically when you're milling your coffee, it's like this shaker table that makes the beans flow. It liquidizes the beans, and then the less dense beans go to the top. But if you dumped your beans onto that shaker table and you just randomly started at the top, you would have gotten rejected as an off grade. And so if you just ran the same coffee through again, some of the coffee that was off grade, like this one, and like this is an off grade bean here, and this is an extra fancy bean. This one's bigger. He's bigger. He was too big. He couldn't make it down. It tastes fine. Yeah, it tastes good. It doesn't hurt my stomach. Nothing wrong with it. Coming off the same trees. Sounds like a children's book. So that off grade bean. No, in this case, it just if it ran through the grate one more time, it probably would have become an extra fancy. He didn't try enough times. He just gave up too early. Persistence. Sometimes it's less about who you are, but how persistent you are. And I think that's the case. If he ran through one more time, he would have just become the communists just texted me. They like that analogy about Xi Jinping. It's inspiring, right? The head of the Chinese Communist Party. He got rejected 20 times. He tried one more time and he became extra fancy. He became a peaberry. He would have been rejected. He would have gone in the pile, the off-grade pile, $19 a pound. He would have been $19 a pound. But instead, he's $100 a pound because he tried one more time. So, lesson learned. So if you guys want the coffee that didn't try enough times, we only have Kona coffee, unfortunately. But if you guys want to try some of the coffee that just didn't try hard enough, the underachievers, the coffee that got rejected, and they took the slacker beans, the sensitive beans, the beans that couldn't take the rejection, then this is it. They're just as good as everyone else. Some of them legitimately, like this guy, he was just too small. He was just too small. And so no matter how hard this one tried, he would have gotten rejected. Maybe they're just tired like me. Yeah, like this guy got bitten up. This guy got bitten up, right? So no matter how hard this guy tried, he would have gotten rejected. But then there's other guys who are like Xi Jinping, the head of the Chinese Communist Party. He tried to apply to the Communist Party like 20 times and they rejected him. And he applied one more time. And now look at him. He's the top communist. He's the top communist. Look at him now. You couldn't even buy him if you had all the money in the world. And it's because he tried one more time. So you guys just try one more time, guys. You watch the show, go out there and try one more time. If you feel like an off grade, try one more time. Never give up. Even if you're too small, just try one more time. You never know. You never know. You might slip through the cracks, and you might just, even if you're too small. The Kona. So I'm not an expert on Colombia beans. What I know about the Kona is overall, it's the only coffee that I can guarantee that anyone guarantees will not give you acid reflux or indigestion. The beans tend to be bigger, especially the Kona grade beans tend to be much bigger than Colombian beans. Um, Tends to be sweeter and smoother, so I can guarantee it's not going to give you any acid reflux or indigestion. So if you do get acid reflux or indigestion, I will give you 100% of your money back. That's right. We're all taking inspiration from the top communist, Xi Jinping, head of the Communist Party of China. He got rejected 20 times. The communists didn't want him. They're like, "You get out of here. You're not good enough to be a communist. Go back to the fields. You're not a proletariat. You're a peasant. Stay in the fields." He tried one more time. There you go. Just like Trump, he tried one more time, right? He got rejected in 2020. He tried one more time, and now he's the top communist. All hail the top communist. Now he's a big bean, a big bean. He he could have been off grade, but he made it. I think that a lot too, actually. But keep it to yourself, guys. We gotta keep that to ourselves. That's what I think too, honestly. A lot of times I look on the TV, I'm like, "You fucking idiots. These fucking idiots." But it doesn't help. Yeah, now no one's gonna buy the off grade beans. I think what happened here is what's happening now is instead of buying the extra fancy beans, we're buying the off grade beans and putting it and selling it for the most expensive. So instead of it's not that I don't know, guys, but I like the Chinese Communist Party example better for off grid beans. I think that's a really good example. Xi Jinping, he was a good bean, right? He is a good bean. There's nothing wrong with that bean. But just for whatever reason, maybe where he started out, when you pour the coffee into the hopper and it ends up at the top of because the gravity table is like this table, right? It's like this table, and the coffee at the top here along the top edge, those all get rejected because when you shake the table, the less dense beans come to the top. But if you drop that bean onto the gravity table, if you had dropped Xi Jinping on the top of the gravity table and there's just all this coffee down here, maybe he just couldn't get through. And so he got rejected. He got rejected off the top here, even though it was just there was too much coffee. And so all he had to do was just try again, and maybe next time he got dumped at the bottom here, right? Now he's down here, and then he made it. The 20th time, he just had bad luck. And then the 20th time he made it, and then, one of us bought it as the extra fancy, paid $80 a pound for it, and now he's the top communist. So you guys could be the top communist too if you just try enough times. So these are my off-grade beans. But then other times, some beans are just legitimately ugly, right? There's nothing you can do about this guy. No matter how many times he tried, he's going to get rejected. I'm sorry. But sometimes it's the experience is in trying. It doesn't matter what the outcome, it's just trying. So you should try again too. If you think you're one of these beans, just keep on trying. You never know. Maybe you'll slip through. I'm sure. Maybe you'll become a Hawaiian bean, right? And it's still one step up from being a reject, right? Like this guy. This guy made it into the Hawaiian bean, but and is he any uglier than this guy? They're both pretty ugly. Like, if you had to choose, if you had to reject one of these guys, who would you reject? I don't know. They're both pretty ugly. But this guy made it into the Hawaiian. He just it's the look and it's the density. So like I said, some beans like this bean here is not dense enough. You'd reject this guy. You'd reject this one. They're both pretty ugly. So that's the OG, guys. Like, and then you get some beans like this. I mean, this guy doesn't even look like coffee. He's an alien. We don't even know where he came from, this guy. So some of those beans, so the off-grade beans has just a wide range. You got some really good beans in there, you got some bad beans in there. There's going to be a lot of variability. This batch seems to be really good. Next batch, maybe they're all. The cacao tea is like chocolate. It is real chocolate. It's not all bad. I'm going to talk about communism, but it's not all bad. Like Xi Jinping. Yeah. We had something good to say about Xi Jinping here for today. Usually I'm talking all this shit about communists, but today we tried one one more time, and Xi Jinping made it. He got through. He's extra fancy. He's the Peaberry. It's, you got free shipping now. Stock up on that OG. And if you have your own, if you can get your own gravity table, you can run the off grade through the gravity table, and then you can pull out the extra fancy beans, right? You can take the rejects. It's uh, sort of like the CIA. You take all the rejects, and then you can pull out the extra fancy beans from there, and now you got yourself the extra fancy beans, and you only paid $17 a pound for it. They taste the same. They do. They do taste the same. Right now, they taste the same. I gotta tell you, I gotta do it batch to batch. Sometimes there's legitimately bad off grade, but this one is good. So anytime I get off grid, I'm gonna drink it and tell you if it's good. This is an extra dark, right? I'm selling this off grade. The Xi Jinping uh, sales pitch seems to be working, guys. You guys, we gotta do more of that. You could be the top communist. You can start out as an off grade coffee and still end up being the top communist. This is my new sales pitch. 18 seconds left. Chocolate. You want some chocolate? All right. It's an inspiring story. Just try again. Don't forget where you came from. It might be actually. So this one's chocolate covered mac nuts. I'm selling these to you at my cost because I don't want to sell these. They're too expensive. If I had to make money on these, I'd sell them for $25, $32 for a little 6-ounce box. Like, I don't feel good selling you guys. You'll send me a check. If I, you, you wanted to, you want to use the Xi Jinping sales pitch, Xi Jinping method of sales. It'll be the next big thing. But these are, you could tell these these are luxury. Like these are the chocolate is actually really high quality. It's like that velvety chocolate. It's not just your regular, cheap macadamia nut covered coffee, chocolate covered macadamia nut. It's actually really velvety smooth. So this chocolate was made like 2 weeks ago. That's right. Make a children's video. I wanted to make a movie. Struggling dad gets on whatnot, and then it goes from there. If you write the story, I'll help you make the movie. Tubby. A struggling dad surrounded by meth heads, middle of the jungle, discovers whatnot, live selling, changes his life, changes the world. And then at the end, we launch the spaceships, surrounded by hippies. Can't become president because he's born in Taiwan. Thank God. Otherwise, I'd have a chip on my shoulder. Sandin, the leader, says no more. The supreme leader says no more chocolate till September, guys. So after these Mac nut covered chocolates are done, there will be no more sales of chocolate till September. So you better get it before it's gone. Now, if you don't want your Mac nuts covered in chocolate, we have them without Mac nuts. I think we already sold all the Hawaiian dark chocolate. I'll have more of those, yeah, but I may not have more of those until September, according to the supreme leader, Sandin. We will not. It's up to her. Hail Sandin, Satan. That's almost sounds like Hail Satan. Did anyone else catch that? I was wondering, why does that sound familiar? Hail Satan. I mean, Hail Sandin. I don't think Sandin liked that one. I'm in trouble now. All right, let's see. What else do we have? I'm not selling anything today. This is not a good sales day for me. I don't know. I'm just off. Some days you're just off. All right, we did our dark Hawaiian. Let's see what else we got here. We have a 6 ounce of the dark extra fancy. So imagine you take Xi Jinping and you made just an entire party of him. Just like 100 Xi Jinpings. You made a whole country of Xi Jinpings. Just of people who never gave up. That's the extra fancy. That's the extra fancy. So this is just only the biggest beans. And you have to run the coffee over and over again to collect these beans. We spend a lot of time collecting these beans. So this is like these are the best beans. This is like the Ivy League of beans. These are the best beans. So Reginald, the rejected bean. Xi Jinping, the rejected bean. I think that would be a great children's story. I can't. I don't. I'm not doing a $1 star for extra fancy. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, guys. We did the darkest states. So if you guys want to get another darkest state, I can't afford to do that. So why don't we do one darkest state on the extra fancy? $1 start. Sandin. Sandin. The Chinese are looking at this and they're like, I don't understand these people. Sandin says Christ is king, but she's joking about Satan. I just don't understand. How could they tolerate this? If this was a Muslim country, Ed would be dead. I don't understand these Christians. Doesn't make any sense. All right, guys. 8 ounce dark estate. This is the 100% Kona coffee. It's been state inspected to have less than 1% defects. All the beans are the densest beans. Um, just you're not gonna get weird beans in there. So that's the difference. Is that this coffee we run it over and over again on the mill until finally we get the perfect coffee. There's no tolerance. I am. I'm feeling funny today. I don't know what it is, but enjoy it while it lasts. That's what I say to my. That's what I say to myself. No, I'm chewing on a fingernail. Yeah. You know what it is? I'm completely clean again. I think that's what it is. I'm still a little bit tired. I told you guys I drank the white coffee and I had a relapse and I smoked a bunch of weed. I have to admit it. And I was warning everyone, the white coffee, if you have underlying addictions, it may bring that out. And it brought it out for me, but I quit again and I'm feeling good about it. I had a relapse, but I quit again. So I think that's why I'm feeling a little tired. Did I eat my nail? I ate my nail. I ate the weed. No, no. I bought a vaporizer. I bought a vape pen here. They sell them for free. Not free. They sell them out here on the vape stores. Although after that last, I think remember how the other day someone saw I had an empty vape pen and someone called me out on it. And the next day they shut down the rest of the they shut down the rest of the vape shops. So no more, you can't buy THC vapes in Hawaii anymore. That was the last one. So I ruined it for everyone else. Yep. I'm sorry, guys. So I quit and everyone else has to quit. Because I went back, right? I went back to the vape shop. I only know this because I went back to the vape shop and I tried to buy another one. And they told me this morning the state came in and seized the rest of our goods. I was like, damn it, that sucks. But now I'm clean and now I'm feeling better. So that's why the state is there. It's to help us. So if I want weed, I have to buy it illegally now. You can't just go into a store and buy it. What about CBD? They don't let us sell CBD here anymore either, unless you're like you have to buy the CBD in the medical shop, at least on Big Island. So even the CBDs got shut down. Well, so I can only buy it illegally now. I can't just go to the store and buy it. I have to go hit up my neighbor. All right, guys. I have to go to the beach now. I don't know what I'm getting. I have to go to the beach. So this dark coffee is good. The OG is good, guys. It's not hurting my stomach. It's making me laugh. This is good stuff. $17 a pound. 17 bucks a pound right here, guys. Jesus is like, shut up. Don't tell them about the neighbors. All right, shut up. I'll shut up now. Thank you. I always like people telling me what to do, actually. It helps me a lot. Not everyone likes that, but I like it. We do. We do have medicinal weed, and we do have, but you like that too. It's not everyone likes it, but some people like it. What are they looking at? What are they smiling at? All right, I'll do another flash sale on this OG. The dark roast definitely makes me happier. You know, I drank that dark roast, and I'm feeling kind of giddy here, but I'm not getting that crazy buzz of the white. So something else in coffee makes you maybe there's more methylamine in there as a result of roasting it dark. I don't know. I gotta do some tests. How hot is it there? It is not too bad in the mountains, I would say. Right now, it's 80 degrees or so. There's the communists again. They love it. They love Xi Jinping. They love the show today. They don't understand. They don't understand us. It gets really hot on the shores, but it is in the mountains it stays pretty good. Yeah, down by this shore it's going to be 100 degrees and humid. It sucks down there, but up here, and my wife likes it down there. I don't understand some people, but up here it's stays pretty cool. Sand, I think it'll stay pretty good because no one. I think what's going on is no one buys the off grade. So when I ask for off grade, they just give me the best stuff, the best off grade that they have. So only if we start selling a lot of off grade, then you're gonna notice the off grade, the quality of the off grade is gonna go down. But probably for now, the off grade is gonna be really high quality. Yeah, that off grade's good quality stuff. I don't know. I didn't expect it. When I saw it in the bags, I was like, wow, this is good. Do they know what they're giving me? So this is the off grade here. Doesn't give me stomach aches so far. So good. No acid reflux. My stomach's really sensitive. So if I'm not getting stomach aches, you guys probably aren't going to get stomach aches. Unless you're really bad. All right. What do we have next here? I'm not selling anything today, guys. I'm not talking to her. This is my safe time. It's the OG. So if you guys want some pea berry though, pea berry is a mutation in the bean that happens at the tips of the trees. This is the pea berry here. So pea berry almost looks like a football, and so it's a denser bean. It smells like jelly. It's got this fruitiness to it, very very sweet. Comes right out of the bag. You can tell that's sweet. You can store it for up to a year in the freezer or longer. How's it like Katora? The Hawaiian light Katora is the only time we've had Hawaiian light Katora, and it tastes just almost like the Kona light Katora, just slightly smaller beans. And I have like 20 of these left. So once this is gone, it's gone forever. It's gone until September. So we do have a light Katura Hawaiian and a dark Katura Hawaiian, which is very rare. The Katura coffee, I made this comparison. So someone asked me, what is Katura coffee? So it's like a sub variety of Arabica. So if Arabica coffee is communist Chinese people or just Chinese people in general, most of the coffee we grow is like communist Chinese coffee, right? It's a billion Chinese people. But the yellow Katura is like Taiwanese Chinese people. It's a sub variety. And someone asked me, what is the pea berry? So you can have Chinese people from communist China who speak English. That's pea berry. You can even have English speaking Taiwanese people. That's a yellow Katura pea berry. But the yellow Katura is rarer than the regular pea berry because there's a billion Chinese people. So 1% of a billion is 10 million. So there's 10 million pea berries, right? But with the yellow Katura, there's only 8 million Taiwanese people. So it's actually more rare than the pea berry, even though it's not. And then you have yellow Katura pea berry, but it's really too hard to separate. So this is that one didn't go as well. Sometimes you repeat a joke and you know it just the timing wasn't right. So sorry guys, just wasn't the right timing. I gotta Hawaiian grade pea berry. I haven't been able to get that. I will be right back, guys. It's not letting me run my auctions. Now you're looking at my garbage pile. But when you can get Hawaiian pea berry, the truth is you probably it's like the off grade. It's almost as good. Sometimes you don't even really know why it became Hawaiian. Um, but I haven't been able to get that in like 2 3 years. I've still been asking for it. They're like, I don't want to sell it to you. All right, what are we doing next? But you can get Hawaiian pea berry on eBay for 24 bucks for a pound. So if you're curious, you can probably get the Hawaiian pea berry. They're probably selling it to all that. They're selling it to that guy. All right, what are we doing? We're trying to do the Katora, the yellow Katora. and I only have 18 of these left, and then I'm done for the year on the yellow Katura of the Hawaiian. So if you guys want to try the yellow Katura Hawaiian, which is pretty special, Hong Kong. I used to go to church with the Hong Kong Chinese. They're they're their own sub varieties too. There you go. So this is our Hawaiian pea berry. I mean Hawaiian Katura, and this is a 12-ounce bag of it. It's the last of our Katuras. The Katuras are, less than 1% of the Katura. Yes. Oh, I sense a fight breaking out. Is there a fight happening? I love fights. I taught inner city kids once, and there's this one kid who's always talking shit, and all the other kids would like be like, "I'm gonna beat you up," and they'd start fighting, and then the teacher would separate them. And I just got so sick of this kid one day. I was just like, you guys want to fight? I posted two kids at the door. I was like, you guys watch the door, make sure there are no other teachers, clear the room, you guys fight. And they fought, and the kid who talked shit got beat up. I got fired. So the kids looked at me like, what? They're like, what? You want us to fight? I was like, go for it, guys. This guy's always talking shit. I'm not here to stop it. That's what I did towards the end of my career in the government. Same thing. All these people talking shit. I'm like, go ahead, fight. I want you to die. That's what I did. I'm the villain, guys. I tried to tell you guys I'm the victim, but I'm actually the villain. I'm not proud of it. That's why it took me that long to admit that to you guys. Been going on and on about how I'm the victim, this and that, and they killed this person, did that, and they did this to me, they did that. But what did I do in the end? Millions dead. All I had to do, though, in my defense, all I had to do was not do my job because I was the only one holding everyone back. And I was like, you know what, guys? When I hold you guys back, you guys all gang up on me. So fuck it, go kill each other. I don't care. I don't know any of you. I'm not. Go kill each other. Me too. I just want to be in the mountains. All right, guys. So that's our yellow light Katura. We also have a dark Katura. The dark Katura is somewhat savory, and it's going to be a richer flavor than your typical coffees. You didn't miss anything, Jay Stahl. You missed the OG. I gave you guys all. So that's my Katura there. How are we doing on sales? Almost no sales today. It's all right. I had more fun talking about Xi Jinping than I had selling coffee. Most our land is on leaseholds. Yeah, most of the good land is on leaseholds. You missed our conversation about Xi Jinping and how this is our off-grade coffee here, right? and this is the $17 a pound coffee that you can get from us right today. And it looks, and then I was saying some of these beans are as big as the extra fancy beans, and it's because these, so this is almost as big as the extra fancy bean. It's like, how did that happen? It's because sometimes the beans just didn't, just got rejected for no reason. And so, this is an off grade bean. This is an extra fancy bean. This should be in the extra fancy. Why didn't it make it? And I was like, it's like Xi Jinping because the Communist Party rejected Xi Jinping like 20 times. And he just had to try one more time. He was in the off grade. He was in the off grade bin, $17 a pound. But if he just tried one more time, now look at him. He's the top communist. He's extra fancy. And all he had to do is try one more time. Otherwise, he would have been $17 a pound in the off grade. But now look at him. He's extra fancy. He's part of the Communist Party. He's extra fancy. There's more communists than there are Americans, right? I think there's like 200 million communists in China. So it's like that. The party is its own country. That's as large as America. It's crazy. He wanted the fancy life. He just had to try one more time. He didn't give up. He wasn't a quitter. He wasn't a quitter, and we can all learn from his example. If you just try one more time, you might find yourself the top communist. But if you didn't try that one more time, you'd be in with the off grade. You'd be in with the rejects. So you just got to try one more time. And like this is America, right? And if I just try one more time, maybe I can become a communist. But I'm in here with the mix. I'm in with the rejects. That's us. This is America. this is These are the communists in here. Just try one more time. Maybe I can get over. Maybe I can get over to China. I can be rich like them. Get out of this place. Does he belong here? Maybe. But maybe if he just tried one more time, he can make it to communist China. Get in with the rich communists. This is the effect of our off grade coffee here. I'm definitely having a fun time. Get in with the rich communists, Jay Stahl. We just try one more time. Maybe we can get there. About selling 8 ounce of what are you looking for 8 ounces of? Could you run a green? Yes. The green is gonna take me a little bit longer to get out though, because I don't have any on hand. So if you want this green, it's gonna delay your order. So there's a pound of green here. The dark money. You got a green by accident. You could roast it in the oven or the air fryer, Julie, and kind of play around with it. You can also boil it for 20 minutes in a pot of water, and then you're gonna get this energy drink. Yeah, Funky Monkey's doing it that way. It's so strong, but you need to cook it because green coffee is raw. Green coffee was fermented, so there's a lot of there's a living microbiome on it. So you gotta make sure you boil it, otherwise it might give you the shits. You want me to run? I'm not. I already packaged them all up into a pound, so I'm not gonna run them in 8 ounces. But if you want a full pound, I can give you one of those. So if you guys want that nice coffee, and this is the extra dark, this is more like a Starbucks roast, right? It's oily, it's dark. This is the darkest roast we have. It's an off grade, which means it was the rejected coffee. Coffee that wasn't good enough to call Kona coffee, but for some reason this batch is really good. Has bigger beans and some of the Hawaiian. I definitely try it. And I drank some, didn't give me a stomach ache. This is the Sandin OG. The OG coffee. It's worth it. It is actually worth it. Yeah. For coffee like this for seven, this is a coffee that's better than anything you buy in the store for about the same price. Tastes like Kona coffee. We're not allowed to tell you it comes from Kona on the label, but luckily, all my coffee doesn't have any labels. So, ha 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 ha. So this is the um it's the state has these labeling standards. So to be called Kona coffee, it has to be inspected by the state, it has to have less than 10% defects, depending on the grade, down to 1% defects. It has to be above a certain bean size. So the off-grade coffee doesn't meet those standards. It doesn't, you know, it may have more. There is legitimately ugly beans in here, like this bean. I was saying, no matter how many times, if this was Xi Jinping, and no matter how many times he applied to the Communist Party, he would have gotten rejected because this one's just not good enough. But there's a lot of beans in there, like Xi Jinping, where if he just tried one more time, he would have become extra fancy. But because he gave up too early, for whatever reason, maybe he had family problems, he just didn't believe in himself. He ended up with the rejects. But he was actually an extra fancy bean. And so you guys are getting it's a bargain. You got him, Steph. Awesome. So sometimes you get some really big beans here. There's even pea berries in there. All right, this is a perfect pea berry. Yep, these are the rejects. This is us. We're selling ourselves for $17 a pound here. Oops. Some of the coffee is legitimately, you know, no matter how hard they try, they're gonna get rejected from the Communist Party. So even if this guy tried 20 times, 21 times, like Xi Jinping, he still would have gotten rejected. But there's nothing wrong with this guy at all. And he's in there too. He just got unlucky. Whatever reason, he didn't fall through the right grate. And that's right. That's what they need. Even with 24 hours surveil, that's like the greats, right? 24-hour surveillance, that's like the greats. And so, but even with you need people paying attention to the cameras. And so for whatever reason, he just felt he didn't fall through the right crack. But then, sometimes you got beans like this. This is legitimately an ugly bean. No matter how hard this one tried, I hate to break it to you, but this guy's ugly, and there's nothing you can do about it. It still tastes great. He's still coffee, right? He's still human. If you grind him up into a pulp, he's still gonna be, just like everyone else. Once you've ground him up, he's like everyone else, even if he was ugly. Once you ground him up, he's just like everyone else. And that's the off grade beans right there. All right, what else do we have going on here? How about the white coffee? I haven't run any white coffee yet. So white coffee gives you a strong buzz. It's probably the healthiest of all the coffees. It even makes your body tingle. No, only coffee, not only it's still grown in Kona. Yeah, it's still grown in Kona. You won. Congratulations, Jenny. It's still grown in Kona. Yep. It's just to reject the beans that we can't label Kona coffee, but it's still grown in Kona. Coffee, even grown in different regions on the Big Island, cannot be called Kona coffee. It has to be grown in North or South Kona, which is like a 25-mile strip from the airport down to just a little bit above the volcano along the coast. So it has to be grown in Kona. There's Ka'u coffee, which is more close to the volcano. They don't even have to be hand picked. Then there's coffee up in Hamakua and Hilo, and that's not Kona coffee either. So it has to be grown in Kona to be called Kona coffee. And all of our coffee is Kona grown. Even the off grid, the Hawaiian, it's all Kona grown coffee, just different labeling standards. Um, I think I'm just too tired to sell coffee today. No, you gotta feel like selling coffee. Here's a 2-ounce sample of the white coffee, which is the healthiest. It's booster NAD levels. It's white coffee has another alkaloid in it, in addition to um, in addition to caffeine. It's called trigonylene. And trigonylene is methylated niacin. It's an NAD booster. It is goes a long way to explain why people who drink coffee live longer. There's all sorts of health benefits to it, but you gotta look it up. And the white coffee is loaded with that. It isn't extra fancy, so it's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit different, right? It's not quite a caffeine buzz. It kind of makes you a little happy, but it's strong. It's very, very strong. All right. So I did one of those at a dollar start. I can't afford to do these for less than 8. Lasts a lot longer. Lasts like 2, 3 hours. A little bit of tingling, but it stops. It stops working like any other drug. So you got to take a break and then start over. After like the 5th day, you're just like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I need more. So, so it is strong, and you do build a tolerance to it. Uh, but but I like it. I had it kind of I went over the top on Thursday when I did a 6-hour thing on here, and I drank 4 big cups of the white coffee, and after that I just curled up in a ball. I was getting and for like 3 hours, and then the next 4 days I was tired, really tired, and I'm starting to recover now. And also the white coffee, if you guys have underlying, you know, addictions, it might cause you to relapse. It's like it definitely feels like you're getting a little bit high. So if you guys were like, you know, in your past lives, if you guys are alcoholics or tried to give up cigarettes, it might cause you to go back. So definitely I urge caution. Anastasia. Just try to win a giveaway. You don't have to be selling your stuff. All right, guys. What are we doing today? You guys have any last requests? Well, then you're just gonna cause you to drink more coffee. Definitely, you're gonna need more coffee after you drink the white coffee because it's gonna make other coffees make you sleepy. It's just not your rest. Once you drink the white coffee, you're gonna find that the rest of the coffees are just not strong enough. So that's another downside. Today's just all about the downsides. Not even trying to sell coffee. You want to try to do a Kona grown tomatoes. You know, the Waimea tomato people are gonna be mad at me that I turned you on to tomatoes. So maybe look for something else. Maybe do I don't know. There's a maybe do eggplants. There's no one doing eggplants. If you could do berries up here, that would be amazing. Yeah, no one's doing berries. Peppers, red peppers. Red peppers, 3 red peppers are like $9. Red peppers are like 9, $10 a pound out here. So if you could do red peppers, hmm yeah, I didn't want to turn you on to tomatoes, and now there's Waimea tomatoes, and now like what the hell, Ed? We're selling our tomatoes for $12 a pound, and now you got this lady coming in trying to compete with us. We were doing great with our tomatoes. Why'd you have to do that? So don't do the tomatoes. But red peppers. No one's doing red peppers. 3 red peppers, like $10 here. Man. All right. What else do we have going on here? Have a medium extra fancy. This one is buttery, like a chocolate covered raisin. Um, the smoothest, sweetest of all our coffees. Well developed. Doesn't have any acidity in it, but still tastes like a raisin. Almost like a raisinette with a little bit of Nutella to it. Really good for espresso. Um, I only have a few of these left. Super buttery and smooth and rich. So this one is really great for your espresso, your pour over. It's roasted dark enough that you get the development. You haven't tried it? Let me know how it is when you try it. We also have this dark pea berry. Pea berry is a mutation in the bean. It takes 100 pounds to produce 1 pound of pea berry. So you have to run all of this coffee through grates over and over again until the pea berry falls through the grates. It's shaped differently. This is actually a pea berry here. Awesome, Dustin. Lavender, interesting. So this is the pea berry. You can see it's a different bean, and it's a denser bean. You don't have to use as much of it. I'll run one of these at auction, right? Let's do that. Let's run one of these. 2 ounce pea berry, you can try that. And this one, you go to ABC stores out here, which is a local like kind of convenience store. They're selling the pea berry for $56 a pound. And you're probably be like, yeah, but I no one should shop at ABC stores. They're ripping you off. But you can't buy pea berry anywhere else in a store. So pea berry is rare like that. And so it does go for a premium, but Matt's gonna get it for $1. There he is. Matastic. Got it for $1. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna send you guys off on a raid. No, I got another 22 minutes. I want to hit 2 hours, so let's just hang out. We did that. Cacao nibs, green coffee. How about three? I don't even have 3 pounds of medium. I'll have some. Nah, I better not risk it. Better not risk it. All right. I'll risk it. Let's do 3 pounds of Hawaiian. You can get 3 pounds of our Hawaiian coffee for $80 in the medium roast. Medium roast is roasted to approximately this color. Pea berry is rarer than extra fancy, usually more expensive, but they're different. I think the extra fancy is a cleaner bean, bigger bean. I like the extra fancy better than pea berry, but pea berry is harder to find. This is the color of the medium roast here. You can get a 3 pounds of it for $80. No money on the books. Everyone's poor today. That guy Dave, how you doing? You want some turmeric? Here's some turmeric. This turmeric you're not usually if you come to Hawaii in the supermarkets is a $16 a pound turmeric. If you go to the mainland, they're usually doing 24, 25. This is a pound of fresh turmeric. Turmeric stays good for a long time if you leave it out. It'll just start growing. So I've left this turmeric out for probably 3 months now. It's just, it's still good. It's actually sprouting. So the best way to store your turmeric is just leave it in a dry, sunny place and it'll just start sprouting. It won't get moldy. If you put it in the fridge, it tends to get moldy. And you can peel these, throw these in the freezer, but don't put it in the fridge. You either put it out like in one of these, one of these things, right? Or you throw it in the freezer, but don't put it in the fridge. Put it in the fridge, it'll rot. I don't know exactly why, but that's what happens to it. We can do. I hate when I do that. $1 start on the turmeric. Now Metastic's gonna get it for $1. Maybe maybe Dave can Big Head will get it for can bid for it and get a cheaper one. I'm running out of steam again. We got 20 minutes left, guys. So let me know if you guys have any last requests. It's a pound of turmeric, so Big Head Fish is gonna get it for $4, $5, $6. You could also replant these. Once they sprout, you just throw this tip into compost, and it'll come out really nice. All right. Well, I'm glad you got that second one. What else we got going on here? I got an 8-ounce dark estate. This is the 100% Kona coffee, estate coffee, densest beans, cleanest beans. No ugly beans, right? Even though the off grade, you got some really good beans in there, right? You also got some ugly beans in there. But the estate coffee is more like this, where every single bean is uniformly nice. And so if you want the state inspected coffee with zero ugly beans, you just can't handle you guys are then these and the denser beans, if you get even one bad bean in your coffee, it will throw it'll throw the taste off a little bit. So the estate beans, you don't have that risk. I think that's totally different. $17 was a really good deal for that. um Sorry, I'm so tired, guys. 8-ounce bag of pea berry here. If you guys want an 8-ounce bag of the pea berry dark, do that for 32. These are the rarest beans. You're on the third cup. You don't get the buzz anymore, Julie. Have you tried the white coffee? That might give you a buzz temporarily for another few days or um, a few more sessions, and then the white coffee will just completely does nothing. That's too bad. How'd you like the white fancy big head fish? You liked it. Nice. I haven't had my white coffee today, so I'm just struggling, trying to get through, trying to survive. We got a light Katura in the Hawaiian grade, so this is the last of my Katura. This is a yellow Katura, which is a sub variety of a sub variety, so it's actually really rare. Wow, you got a lot of coffee. I appreciate you supporting us, Big Head Fish, despite what I have to say about Xi Jinping and Chinese people. I'm just joking. Mixing the white. That's a good mix, actually. J Stall. Put in the drip coffee. You don't go to Starbucks. There are good reasons to go to Starbucks. All right, post shoots me down. My wife goes to Starbucks, and we have a coffee farm. But I've quit. She hates me. She does. She does. My daughter said today, she's like, I don't like you, Daddy. And I was like, why don't you like me? And she said, you talk too fast and you don't clean up after yourself. Oh no, I shouldn't say talk too fast. She said you do things too fast and you don't clean up after yourself. If I tell her that, she's like, "You're cheap." So there's nothing I can say. I don't say anything. She'll tell me cheap. Like, why are you so cheap? But she did get blacklisted at Outrigger as well, too. She's blacklisted all over Hawaii now. They don't want her staying there, and that makes me feel better. All right, that's my dark Katura. Let's see what else we got going on. I'm gonna do 3 pounds of the Hawaiian dark Katura for 78 limited. This is once this is gone, there's no more. No more. Get her start. I don't think they'll do that. Why did she get blacklisted? Probably a lot of reasons. Uh, she was, but they kicked her out. They said you're too much of a risk. Outrigger is a hotel. Their algorithms flagged her, and they said this we can't have her living here. Think it, we just have she has a dog, and the dog pisses everywhere, and it's a big problem. So I think that's the reason why. Okay, it's more than that, but that's the main reason. That's the main reason. All right. I got 13 minutes left, guys, so let me know if you have any last requests. Are you talking about me, post Dom? Are you talking about the dog? I thought you were insulting me. um, just not selling anything today. I don't feel like it. You got to really feel like selling things. If you don't feel like it, no one's gonna buy anything from you. You got to be excited about your product, and I'm just tired. The white coffee got to me. I drank too much of it, and now the coffee's just not working anymore. So if you want some Hawaiian coffee, sweetest, smoothest coffee in the world, the white coffee, it's too strong. Too strong. My wife says I'm doggist. You guys bought too much coffee already. That also makes sense too. I need new blood. Oh, I hate super gluing my fingers together. That's the worst. That is the worst. Then you gotta like try to peel off the super glue, and I appreciate that. I got 35 people here who just enjoy listening to me talk. $3 a pound. And everyone, I think, yeah, I've noticed the supermarkets are everything's on sale, so things must be rough right now. People aren't buying stuff, and the supermarkets are tough right now. They're having a tough time right now, I think. The supermarkets. The food's just too expensive. Spaceships. So I got two people joining my team on the spaceships. One of them potentially he was the former director and chief scientist of the Air Force Research Lab. So I'm really excited about that. I think he's a big deal, and so I'm excited about that. Head of the Air Force Research laboratories is joining my team. Probably doesn't have much time for me, but he's joining my team. Uh, CERN, I'm happy they shut CERN down because they're a waste of money. And they didn't take me. They didn't take me. All right, I got 10 minutes left, guys. 10 minutes. Ask me anything. Any topic. Play Wheel of Fortune. It's not really a spaceship. It's only an engine, and the engines are this big. They're this big. And that an engine this big produces more thrust than the state of the art ion thrusters, which are the size of which are like 1,000 pounds and run on like 15 kilowatts of power. My thruster runs on 10 watts and it weighs a pound. And it produces more thrust than that ion thruster, and it doesn't need any fuel. It's so good, people can't believe it. So the theorists, the people who say, you think that's what communism is about? The theorists who don't have no idea how things work in practice. If they it's too late to classify it because I tried to get it classified for years because I was in that world, and I tried to get it classified. Part of the reason I quit, and no one even wanted to believe me. They're like, "This, you're crazy." And so now it's too late to classify it because I had to prove I had to release it publicly to prove I'm not crazy. But now it's too late to classify it because they're idiots. These people are idiots. They pissed away the advantage. We could have had these spaceships and been number one for the next 1,000 years, but these people are idiots. So now it's not classified. Now it's published. They actually classified me as psychotic and tried to give me uh, antipsychotics, which I took. Just makes me like really hyper. They tried to give me antipsychotics because they said you don't have spaceships, you have a mental illness. And I was like, no, they are using magnets. Yep. So those guys are idiots too. And now they're gonna have to take the heat for it. But yeah, when you guys see, communist China in space using my thrusters, you know who to blame. You gotta blame because I spent like 6 years trying to get it classified. I tried. I tried my best. All right. I went to the Air Force. I went to NASA. I went to the Space Force. I tried to go through, and I met them, and they looked at it, and they're like, "I don't believe you." Literally, it's moving their hand, and they're like, "I don't believe this works. It's going against theory. It goes against the rocket equation." So the rocket equation is on the same level as flat Earth. It was a conspiracy to keep the Germanic people down. The Romans wanted to keep the Germanic people grounded after they burned down, after they sacked Rome in 486, 454, 486 BC AD. And so they came up, we're like, we just got to convince everyone that the earth is flat. And then they're never going to find out about the rest of the Roman Empire. We just got to keep them in their little corner. Yep. Very close, Metastic. It is pretty much that. Um, Basically, this magnet goes through coils, right? And this is another reason why people didn't make it, because this is the motion. So it's just people are too ashamed to be able to do this motion. So this is magnetic core with with solenoids, and every time you turn the solenoid on, the core goes forward, and that thrusts the thing forward. And when it bounces back, because it's a magnetic core, instead of having the recoil, the momentum of the core becomes electricity and heat. And so when people ask me how come no one else came up with this, because it's because no one wants to talk about this, the old in and out. No one wants to. No one wants to talk about massage parlors, and no one wants to talk about this. The lube, you got to use a little bit of oil. You can use some olive oil, butter, baby oil, or you can use normal oil if you want. Coconut oil. And yeah, so with now, you know how Elon Musk wants to go to Mars, but they can't figure out how to get the fuel there. They're like, well, we can barely get to the moon, and then we got to refuel your rocket from the moon, and we got to give you enough fuel to be able to stop the rocket when you get to Mars. So it's like this whole thing. They can't figure it out. I was thinking that. I was telling people maybe I could, because this thrust produces thrust without. So you can. I was thinking of making it into a vibrator, but you know, I'm gonna make it into a kid's toy. He was wrong. The rocket equation is wrong. The rocket equation is wrong. You just turn it around. For us, you just turn it around and put it in the other direction. Um, yes, you can eat all of the turmeric, including the leaves and including the little shoot. I got we got 4 minutes left, guys. No, I'm just using a regular solenoid. It's a 10 watt, super simple. Someone could have figured this out in the 1800s. It's just a regular motor, but instead of making the thing turn in the middle, it just makes it go like this. That's the only difference. Um, you can put it on a gimbal and just put it in your rock. You just turn it like that, and then now it's facing the other direction. Very possible gas and oil companies were against it. Yep. They've been against me for a long time. They even forged my signature, so they've known about me a long time. I actually took this, but it's not even them. They don't really care. They're not interested in space that much. The pyramid builders definitely knew. They were out there. In fact, I got the designs from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. There's a design in there. It's called the Sektet boat, Sektet, and the Sektet boat. And so in the Book of the Dead, there's passages about the Sektet boat, which only I can read. But when I read it, it had detailed instructions on how to make them, so I just made it and it works. So that's how I made the spaceships. But no one believes it. They thought I was crazy. But now it's like I got them all different sizes, and I can put it on water. So now everyone's starting to come around. But it's pathetic. It made me lose all faith in science and academia and the government. I tried to get it classified. They didn't want to classify it. They wanted to classify me. So I just have no faith anymore. I'd rather just sell coffee. It kind of makes me upset talking about it. It does. Because I used to believe. I used to be a believer, but I'm not a believer anymore. It's not even about good. Yeah, I just make fun of NASA and the Pentagon. They've been I to their credit, it is impressive. They did bring me in and let me meet all the people like I needed to meet, and now they're coming around to it. So it's not like everyone's stupid. They definitely, you know, they let me meet the head guys running the Air Force. They have programs where they take people like me and like anal probed. I don't think I was ever anal probed. I don't think, but we're gonna have to check. They got programs, yeah. They got accelerators. I tried to get in touch with Elon, but he doesn't pick up his phone. There's no way to get in touch with him. I don't think. That's what I heard. He's too busy anyway. I don't think. I got 21 seconds left, guys. I was not anal probe, but I was. I was dot dot dot. All right, that's my show, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Hey, let's send you guys the dime bags.